Morning.
Oil prices hold ground after OPEC lowers demand outlook. China's stimulus limit gains.
COP29 host Azerbaijan hits out at West in defense of oil and gas industry. Kickstart the FX day. A look at the Euro US dollar yen, and pound US dollar from a technical perspective. How are you today? I've been busy reading the news. All right, let me get the YouTube all set up. I can't see the chat, so. And then we'll get going. All right, I see the chat. Good morning. Cool. So this is the new tool I'm launching soon. That gives you a real-time calendar, gives you real-time headlines that's read to you while you're trading. You don't have to be watching this. It'll read it to you. We also have real-time technical setups. And then this new tool that I'll be launching soon reads the reports for you. Okay? So in this case for gold, from 5 different websites, it read 90 different articles and has scored the sentiment of the articles, which shows you sentiment for gold has fallen. So it's not just reading headlines, it's analyzing the headlines. Whoa, what? So now you're always informed in real time, and this is doing your fundamental research for you. Hey, you're welcome. That's cool, right? Yeah, super cool. Redonkulous. Yeah, so anyways, let's get on with it. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community. More than 21,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance. Because trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Gold falls to major trend line on US dollar strength, asset reallocation, risk on. I read that funny. Anyway, so a little bit of risk on, nothing really going on yet, nothing to get too excited about. Okay, nothing too excited. If we look at our scalping tool, you'll see that the next major news event is actually tomorrow when it comes to the U.S. inflation report. So be ready for that. Followed by later in the week, PPI. And then in this session, right? And then Friday, retail sales. All these really nice. All these very important. Everything else you don't really need to worry about.
Oil prices under pressure due to demand concerns related to China. Commerzbank.
So anyways, look at our implied volatility here. Okay, remember, implied volatility is non-directional, but it shows you that we're kind of in the middle of a range when it comes to pound Swissy. Okay, and we typically start to lose volatility at this point. You can switch over to Kiwi, and the range is even tighter. And once again, we start to lose volatility. How's our peso? Okay, stuck in its range, and we're starting to enter the time of day where we lose volatility. What about our Bitcoin? Okay, we had that big drop and a stop, and we're tight. Now, we're tight here, but notice it's not just what has just happened. So over the last several candles here, over the last 5 hours, we basically have moved sideways. But it's actually what typically happens for Bitcoin on Tuesdays this time of day. And we actually lose some momentum here. So it could, yeah, it's interesting, right? Where it's not likely to move much lower than really 85 to the downside. Now, we've had a lot more volatility recently, obviously, than normal, but this is what's normal. How about the stock market? Okay, cool. So what you can do is if you are a bull. Is anybody here a bull in the U.S. stock market? If so, I'll tell you how to set it up. I guess we could just move over, right? How many people here are a bull? I think I have one here that we can use, yeah. Okay, and we go into a smaller time frame, like a 15-minute. Well, if you're going to be a bull, the first thing that you want to do is get your bias pivots pointed north. Raising money savvy kids start early for a strong financial future. Okay, and so we look at the implied vol here. And we see the low end here, right? 59.86 right here, and 6,000. Okay, and then your other one. It's 6,019 actually. Wait, that can't be right. I looked at the wrong one. Oh, I see what it did. No. 59.76. Sorry, 59.76. I was looking at the wrong thing. 59.76. There we go. Okay, so based on what has happened, oops, wrong one. Based on what has happened for the S&P 500 on Tuesdays, okay, this is our lower bound of the typical range. You guys following? Does this make sense? It's cool, right? So it's not necessarily technical like a pivot point. I mean, the pivot points are trying to kind of measure the same thing, but it's just measuring what happened last. CNY. The state advances, the private sector retreats, Commerzbank. So what this is doing is looking back at this time of day, going back weeks. And it's similar to a pivot point, but it's an average over weeks and this particular time of day. So they're almost, are they like the price action pivot points? No, but they are rolling like a price action pivot point. You guys know my price action pivot point? Let me just show you. The similarity here is it's rolling. So you go to my price action pivot points, okay, and you see that? They're rolling. So they adjust. Every new candle, they adjust. So every new candle, this implied vol adjusts. Okay? The Australian dollar, US dollar slumps to near 0.650. So in this trade swell, US inflation in focus. Me? I keep talking over myself. Sorry. So anyways, you can see, like, if you're a bull, what this is trying to tell you, because it doesn't know the future, of course, but what it's trying to tell you is based on past performance of this asset on this time of day and this day of the week, this is typically the lowest of the range bound of the range, and your stop could be below here. Okay? And you are probably not going to get stopped out. You might, of course, but if the trend is going to continue, and that's the big thing, we don't know that, right? But if the trend is going to continue, then in a way this is oversold. And if the trend continues, then this is the most likely outcome. Don't you agree? Now, we don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be sort of a basic assumption. And based on what has happened in the past, it's not likely to go lower than this. So that could be your stop, that could be your entry. And would you make this your target? Maybe. But this could be a fundamental play, right? Now, you guys already know my target is 6,111. Could it go beyond that? Oh, for sure. But that's kind of what I'm eyeballing. So that only gets us about halfway there. Now, why are you using S1R1? U.S. government buys oil for strategic reserves yet again. Commerzbank. You're assuming right away, Richard, no trend, right? So I'm just wondering, with the change in macro outlook, why you would consider range bound versus trend. Okay. Okay. So anyways, I hope you see the potential value here. It's just, right? Oh, you're not using annual. Hey, Richard. All right, I'm using annual. I don't know what you're using, monthly. So anyways, that gets us to your monthly.
Euro Wobbe's dollar tests. YTD lows on US Eurozone trade worries.
Okay. It's cool to have this kind of quantitative data, isn't it? So what you still have to decide is trend. Okay. Is the trend going to collapse? Did we just hit a top? Well, I don't know. I don't know. So you want to then make a decision like hourly can still be bullish, but hourly kind of talks about a double top here. 4 hour is kind of hanging around waiting for the 21 to catch up. So we're definitely stalled out here. Okay? Definitely stalled out. So could it fall for 3 or 4 days? Could it fall for a week? Yeah, we don't know because the next level is way back here, right? And that's where the daily 21 is. So could it fall for a week? Yeah. And that could even pull us down even further, right? Because, in that case, if we're going to use technical analysis, there are two scenarios here, right? Don't get mad at me. There's two scenarios. It's technical analysis, right? Bulls do something like this. But there is potential on this chart for more. More down than up. And the whole Trump bump, Bank of Japan undecided on rate hike, yen lower. Right? The whole thing fizzles out, right? It's plausible. So you have to make that decision. So which one is in play? Well, I wouldn't play bearish yet. Even if I was a bear, have we even made a lower low than this low? No. So what's the probability? Down to the 5 and up. How many people would agree with that? Even if you are a bear, it doesn't matter, does it? What's the probability? How many people agree with this is still more likely than straight down? Straight down, or not straight down, but down. Down is definitely there. It's Honeywell's stock leaps into record territory after Elliott discloses more than $5 billion stake. How funny, I keep talking over myself, huh? Now, TT says down, which is perfectly fine. If you sold here, you're a degenerate gambler. So, TT, let's explore the down. What do I need before I can sell? Because there's real potential for it. I can see it. There is no doubt. So what do I need before I can engage if I were a bear? Double top, Yeah. A lower low? Yep. Lower high? Yep. And off to the races. Do we have that yet? No. So you hold tight. Because when I say probably a probability,
announces official partnership with Miston Labs to build on SUI.
You're probably wrong. Now, that's just probability. But if we drop okay, that would be pretty sexy as a bear, huh? Sexy bear. Huh? Now it's different, isn't it? Oh yeah, and if you were already a bear, that makes a ton of sense. Now your threat is that you're not going to be able to get through this zone. And we already know this is where bulls live. Okay? So you're not on the free and clear, but that's a decent entry if you're a bear. If you're a bull, that's a decent entry. So we don't know who's going to win. It could be, okay, ABC, there's all kinds of names for them, Lost Haven, right? But it's fine. Yeah, call it what you want. It don't matter none. Okay, but you can see at the very least, right, shouldn't we, I can't even draw it, we're so zoomed, but I think we can all agree, if this is the recent low and we haven't even gone lower than that, then what the hey? There's no opportunity to sell. We haven't even made a lower low yet. Correct? Correctamundo! So, right? And look at look at our implied vol.
US dollar Canadian dollar moved higher in the Asian session, but after taking out recent highs, rotated lower.
So going into the US market open, this is a tool that you should be using to say, hey, I'm a bull, S&P 500's down, we're at the bottom of our implied vol range. It's the least amount that you could lose as a bull. Okay? Meaning, if it's not likely to go lower, and your stop is always going to be the same, so let's say it's here. If you went long here, your stop should be there. If you went long here, your stop should be there. But in this case, when you're combining a market open with implied volatility, you're buying it as low as possible. That's all you're trying to do. If you're maintaining your bullishness, you want to find over weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of what the S&P 500 does, that's usually about as low as it goes. Now, could it go up here and then collapse? Heck yeah. And that's what we call trading, because we know this is the bear zone, right? We know bears live here, right? We know that, right? Who's willing to admit they don't know that that's where the bears live? And I'll just show you. I'll just show you. I'll fix that. But if everybody knows, then it's common sense and I don't need to share. If you don't know there are bears there, you got a problem. And I can fix it. That's all. Nothing to be ashamed of. Mexican peso extends losses for third day in a row amid tariff fears.
China's central bank has not bought any gold in the last 6 months. Commerzbank.
Okay, cool. Everybody knows. Saudi Arabia, negative outlook for the future. Okay. And we are getting to that capitulation zone. If we go lower, it could be a lot lower. all the way back to 50-ish. Okay? Okay, we are at support. You can see it. People are going to try to buy it. And there's that pivot point I've already highlighted. I highlight. Okay, but at some point, I don't know, like if you believe there's going to be expansion in the global economy, then you want to buy it. Now, OPEC doesn't. Okay. If you believe Trump is going to tariff, that would probably slow demand. If you believe in the drill, baby, drill, that would increase supply. So you could try to thread a bullish narrative, but I think the bearish narrative is quite big, huh? So you could like try to figure out what today's highest high would be and if this is the right time of day for B-trade to trade that, huh? Okay. So in this case, according to implied volatility, just under 70 is your sell zone. $69.30, $69.60. Let's just clean it up, huh? Light Finance becomes the official trading partner of Leicester City Football Club. Wait, I got that wrong. Did I type it in wrong? Where did it go? Guess I did. There we go. So that would be our general sell zone, huh? Now, Richard's like, I'm thinking 70. Well, I'm not thinking. Having analyzed weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of WTI on Tuesdays and what the market has actually done on WTI on Tuesdays at the U.S. market open, that would be sort of the higher end of the range. Now, I don't disagree with you. I think it could go a little higher. That's fine. You know, and you technical analysis says something like that. Okay, that's fine. But this is definitely just implied volatility. We're adding one layer to the onion. Okay? Go to a 4-hour and you'll see what we're doing here is essentially where the 4 hour is going to be in the future is right here. So what's the general idea? Okay? That's it. Okay, cool. So I invite you to become a pro member of traders.com. Get this volatility radar on your side. And notice that the cool thing about this page is it updates even if you don't refresh your page. It just updates. So we're at a market open, so there's a lot of opportunities. But notice throughout the day, it fizzles out and it adjusts. And it'll tell you, look at this, don't look at that. Cool, right? Let's look at some patterns. Okay, channel down. Okay, opportunity. Channel up, opportunity. Triangle breakout, threat. USD Rand up, opportunity. Triangle breakout, threat. Pound Aussie, triangle, right? Triangle breakout, threat. Why is it a threat? Why do I keep saying threat? Because there's no trend. It's consolidation. It's not going anywhere, my friend. Oh, but it broke up. Whatever. Do you know why I don't care? I sell lower highs and I buy higher lows, and that's neither. So let's put some flesh on these bones. Okay? Okay. Bitcoin price forecast. BTC reaches new highs near $90,000. On-chain data show chances of pullback.
Gold ETFs have seen net inflows for 6 consecutive months. Commerzbank.
Okay. So, if this happens, that's not an opportunity. If this happens, the opportunity is this. So we're a bajillion light years away. Rising wedge breakout, that is a threat to bulls. See? If you're trading a rising wedge, okay, this is what you're looking for, right? Basic strategy. So if it breaks down, that's bad, but this is the opportunity you should be looking for. So it's a threat to bulls. Is it an opportunity for bears?
And
no.
They are off. U.S. stocks are marginally higher in the early trading.
Bears do not sell rising wedges. Bats do. And what's a bat? A broke-ass trader. Okay. Pound Kiwi, a bit of an opportunity. Okay. Same thing. Euro Kiwi, a bit of opportunity. I don't mind selling euro at all. This one I'm a little concerned about, but again, it just shows the amazing euro weakness. But I've set up euro for our technical trading team. Days and days and more days of euro dollar down. Yep. This little 30-minute one that came out a couple hours ago, it's interesting because what it can do is basically set up this. What do we call that? What do we call that? Yeah, inverted head and shoulders, yeah. So, it's not bullish yet. Yeah, it's not bullish yet. Yeah, not on that time frame. On a hard time frame, yeah, probably. Because remember, that's how I teach you. You start on the higher time frames first. Okay. By the way, the stock market is continuing to rise off our implied vol low. You loving it now? Maybe. Okay. Okay. But I've been pointing this one up for days, right? For days. It's struggling, but it's not working. Here's a CAD. I'm not in love with the CAD, but it's working beautifully, right? There's a buy, up, buy, up. We just barely missed the target. Look at the beautiful entry, almost to target. And then we get back to 110.50 and it's probably a buy zone. Oh, yeah. So we're already setting up tomorrow. I set up tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, cool. Euro dollar or euro yen. I'm not a fan on euro. Okay. I have changed fundamentally my bias. I was never really a bull on euro, but I thought if in this occasion, if the US dollar weakens, then yeah, it goes up. But we're not in that trade
Natural
right
gas, eyeing extreme dip, buying levels for generational gains.
now. Okay, how do we trade this one? Okay, keep your eyes on that prize. And the beast. We want to try to kick it off. It has not made a lower low. That's right, Richard. I do it upside down. Yep. Okay, look, we have not made a lower low. Under my own rules of engagement, I can't be a bear yet. Okay, can't be a bear. How can I be a bear if we haven't even made a lower low? Okay, well, maybe things change. Okay, well, then I'll have to adapt. I think on the higher time frames, I'm still not a bear. So let me zoom in on the daily. I mean, again, I don't mind riding the 21. I just don't. Cool. Hey, did you guys click the thumbs up button? There's only 5. Oh, I got to refresh it. Oh, thank you. Yes, that's better. Yeah, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. Take a look at gold. Okay, through my threshold. So I'm definitely taking a break. This happened yesterday, so it's been quite some time. Notice it did kick off the sell zone, and then it has hit target and held. So everything is right as rain. Sell zone, target. I don't mind being a bull. But we just heard on my news flow that China hasn't bought gold in 6 months. Retail's buying like crazy because we also heard on the news feed that inflows into gold ETFs have been occurring for 6 months. So retail's been buying, but not central banks. So anyways, so I don't mind taking a breather while the US dollar is strong. So I, back after this drop, I said, well, technically it's not bearish yet. We haven't gotten below here. Well, now we are, so okay. Tend to walk away and regroup. Okay, and Bitcoin way back down to 86. Hey, it was 90. Okay, Rand getting crushed. I talked about this on Monday morning as being very potential, something that you should be ready for. Not that you could go long-term long, but you can go short-term long. Okay, and Mexican peso also getting crushed.
Tech giants and industrials lead as Tesla takes a dip.
Now, this analysis here is all pre-election. So obviously, this is about dollar strength and U.S. protectionism. Standard operating procedure, sell emerging markets. So the whole world has changed since back over here. And so again, on Monday morning in the fundamental trading group, I pulled up the Commitment of Traders report and talked about the way to use that data to anticipate whether Rand slowly fizzles or collapses. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Once again, I invite you to become a pro member of Traders.com because you get access to everything. Fundamentals, right? The fundamental analytics tool, the technical analytics tool, the scalping analytics tool, all the performance coaching. Cool. And I think that's it. I think we covered a lot. We covered the stock market. We covered the commodity market. We covered the exotics market. We look at the technical radars. We did some implied volatility. Hey, that's a good morning. So thank you for being part of this community. I appreciate you. This is a tough gig. There is no doubt. But you no longer need to trade like an amateur. Those days are in the past. Okay? Imagine hours and hours and hours every day of performance coaching as well as having all this analysis. So, for example, I did a fundamentals session this morning. Now I've done Forex.Today live stream. Okay. What's the date? Tuesday the 12th. Okay. So Jessica's going to lead a scalping session. I'm going to do the week on the street. Okay, so we have a busy day today. There's hours of performance coaching yet. And so you are not alone. We are here with you. Yeah. So, peace on earth. Yeah, I don't know what day it is. Honestly, I really don't. Never really do. Yeah. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And I will see you soon, I hope. We're around. Time to step up. Become a member of Traders.com.